Ours, Norm Roth from Roth Sales Enhancers. Norm has a 40-year sales management and consulting background, training background. Worked for a lot of major corporations. Seems to know everything about everything.
I don't know about that. I asked my wife, she'll tell you something different.
He's traveled extensively. He's got some huge contacts and connections and clients that he has done sales training for. He writes an article for some Chicago area newspapers.
Chicago Independent Bulletin, now the Chicago Tribune is picking it up. Yeah.
Okay, so we're all anxious to hear how he can help us save our customers, especially since sometimes they seem to be kind of like a revolving door. So, Norm?
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. How are you? I hope we don't put you to sleep with this, but client retention is important. I have something for you. If you would pass this around, it's the first dollar you ever got from retaining clients after this seminar. So if you would pass that money around.
We'll take one. Or do we take one, or do we?
Yeah, you take one. Yeah, it's yours. Come on, Carol, you gotta take money, right? Come on, give me a break. All right, so let's talk a little bit about client retention, because everybody here has clients, everybody's in business. There's an old adage. It costs you 5 times more to attract a new customer than to keep an existing one. Today's economic climate, we all know what it is, and new customers are scarce. I have somebody over here in the real estate business, and we were just talking about that. It's brutal out there today, and it's going to get tougher before it gets better. An average dissatisfied customer is going to talk to between 8 and 16 people about their negative experience. It could be with an attorney, although nobody does that with Ken Sussman. He's my attorney, he's great. But if they have a bad experience, they're going to talk about it. David, you know that from Target very, very well. It's that silent customer that goes away. But they're going to tell 8 to 16 other people about that negative experience, and 91% of those customers are going to leave you. Susan, if you don't satisfy your customers when you're delivering quality product, and I know you got a good coffee product, but if you don't deliver it, and if you don't service them and they're out of coffee, they're going to go someplace else in a hurry, and they're going to tell other business owners the same thing. So making an effort to address complaints, you're going to retain 82 to 95% of your business. Let's look a little bit more now. What is it? What's customer retention? Pat, would you read that, please?
Sure.
We'll make this an interactive experience.
Customer retention is the activity that a selling organization, big or small, undertakes to reduce customer defections.
Anybody know what that means? Anybody want to take a shot at it? Sandra, go ahead.
Whatever you do to keep your clients happy.
Right. See this little barrier going up and down? You've got to create exit barriers. You've got to give your clients a reason never to leave American Chartered Bank ever and go to somebody else just because somebody else is offering a 4% checking account that we know is going to go away anyway. Or just because they want to leave for another quarter of a point on a CD, or whatever it may be in the business you have. You have to create exit barriers. It does 2 things. It makes them harder for them to leave you, but it makes it tougher for the competition to get inside their shorts and try and erode any of the business that you have with any of the clients that you're doing business with. It could be a real estate agent, it could be anything at all. It's more than giving the customer what they expect. Everybody talks about exceeding expectations so they become loyal advocates for you. Because who's the customer buying first? They're buying you. Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. Then what have they got to buy? They got to buy your company. And then, as Don knows, because he was with American Brands and Fortune Brands, they have to recognize your brand. So what do you have to do? And it's a whole other seminar I hope you'll come to someday that I give and that Pat gives. But you have to brand yourself. And by doing those 3 things, you're going to exceed expectations. And we're going to talk more about that as we move along here, if you're not asleep. Sandra, read this for me.
Real estate retention needs to be through constant engagement with your customer and understanding when they are starting to stray off the happy path. Active listening and acknowledgement of their challenges in developing business partner type of relationships, not just a vendor, goes a long way toward keeping them engaged and using your product or service.
You cannot be looked upon as a vendor. If you're looked upon as a vendor, they'll go away. They'll shop you. They'll send out RFPs. Tim, raise your hand. You know all about RFPs, and you know all about what happens if you're just a vendor and you're not a partner and you build a relationship with a client. Correct? Tim is in the trade show business. What he does is build and design and service trade show exhibits. And he gets RFPs all the time because they're shopping around to see what they can find. Not necessarily price, but service as well. Your clients have been with you for how long, Tim?
20 years.
Why?
Because you service them.
And how do you service them?
You have to get what they need and it's value. It's all about value.
I have a question. And I need somebody to raise their hand to give me an answer. When we talk about value, who defines value? Who said that? You said it?
Right here, Norton. Come on.
It's the right answer. You win a bottle of wine.
All right.
Absolutely, 100% spot on. We go to people and we say, we're going to bring you value. And they look at you like you're nuts. Because the customer defines what value is. Come on, change for me, will you, baby? Will you please change for me? There you go. If you don't take care of the customer by giving them reasons to stay, your competitors are going to give them a reason to leave. Customer retention is really driven by satisfaction, and not all drives profit. Who wants to make a profit here? Raise your hand. Law in business to make a little money for whatever reason? Keeping and growing a customer is 5 to 7 times more profitable than attracting new ones. It's tough to find new clients. So the key differentiator in competitive environments is more often than not delivery of what, Pat?
Consistently high standard of customer service.
What does that mean, folks?
Do it right, do it every day.
Spot on.
Consistency.
Spot on. Who here has ever watched or been forced to watch American Idol? Raise your hands. It's the third biggest show on television. There was a cast-off. Her name was Pia Toscano. Absolutely unbelievable voice. And she dressed in fashion. I mean, she could have come down the runway. She looked so great. Now, Randy Jackson, who's a judge, and Steven Tyler from my favorite group, Aerosmith. Well, it dates me, doesn't it? But he's still good. And Jennifer Lopez all pushed Pia Toscano on this show. They said, you're going to win. You could win this show. But you got to do some things. You got to be more animated. You got to walk across the stage more instead of stand there and holding the mic. You got to sing something besides ballads. Well, she made promises to the judges and to America that she would do that. But she didn't deliver on the promises. So she's tossed off the show. Who here owns a business? Who here manages a business? Who here sells for their business? Everybody in the room does something. Don't make a promise you can't keep. If you say that you're going to get an RFP back to somebody by Tuesday morning and have it on their desk by 10 o'clock, you best do it. If you say you're going to meet a client or a prospective client at a house to show them a house at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, you better be there early. Everybody ever hear of Vince Lombardi, who was the football coach for the Green Bay Packers? He used to have a sign in his locker room. If you're 15 minutes early to practice, you're late. You best keep your promises. If you can't do it, tell them, I'm sorry, I can't do this in the time that we committed to doing.